Just a second to get in here. All right. We're going to start tonight in the book of Esther. We're starting Esther, first chapter. So we're going to start. We're starting Esther 2 and 5. All right. We're going to get into it. Shalom, Israel. You live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Priest and Captain Soccerwell holding down the class from Memphis, Tennessee. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have classes live from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. But tonight is a very special night in the Memphis School and all around the nation in the Israelite School of UPK. Tonight, we are celebrating the opening of the Feast of Purim. All right, Purim. Purim is a celebration that comes out of the book of Esther, and it is a celebration of the children of Israel triumphing over a evil, sinister plot by our enemies, the Edomites, to have all of the children of Israel slaughtered and done away with during the days of the Persian and Medes Empire. All right. Book of Esther takes place during the days of the Persian and Medes Empire. And again, we are celebrating the Most High preserving our nation and overthrowing and destroying our enemies and a sinister plot that they had concocted to have the nation of Israel destroyed during the days of the Persians and the Medes. All right. The title of tonight's class is A Lesson in Righteous Leadership. All right. That's what tonight's class is going to be, a lesson in righteous leadership. We are going to go into the book of Esther. We're going to deal with the Feast of Purim. And in this lesson that we get tonight, we are going to see a clear cut, black and white example of the consequences that come from following righteous counsel. Everybody understands? The major players in the book of Esther, we start in Esther chapter 2, verse 5. You might need one of these, Oz. That one might be, yeah, that's the Roman jump. Give me that one. Yeah, I got the Roman. What's the name? Use that one right there. Use this. Yeah, there you go. All right. We're in a, so yeah, and we're gonna start in Esther chapter 2, verse 5. So real quick, as we get prepared to go into this lesson, I'm just gonna give y'all the backdrop, right? The beginning of the book of Esther starts with a celebration that the king throws at his palace, right? And in this celebration that the king has, he's showing off all of his wealth, showing off all of his glory, showing off all the things that makes him a great and mighty, powerful man, right? In the midst of this celebration, he calls for his wife, who is the queen. Her name is Vashti, right? He wants to show off the queen and her beauty to all of the men and all the brothers and all the people who came to celebrate him at his party. He calls for his woman. His woman is mad at him. She's angry at him. She's tired of being shown off. She's tired of being paraded around as arm candy. So when he calls for her, she doesn't show up. And it's embarrassing to the king. It's a horrible thing. Imagine you got in a party and you say, you get on the microphone. Hey man, I want everybody, I got a beautiful woman, man. I want all y'all to see how beautiful my woman is. She's so bad and she's so fine. Baby, come on out. Right. And then the spotlight going to the corner where the curtain is, and then don't nobody come out. That's right. And everybody in the crowd, like, oh, first it'd be quiet, then you hear all the murmurs. Oh, she ain't come out. Bitch ain't pop her head around the corner. What's going on? I said, everybody lay eyes on my beautiful woman. He do it again. Everybody waiting. Don't nobody come out. And where the woman at? Hey, man, y'all go around back, see what's going on. They get around back, and the queen done already told all the other wives at the party, when that nigga called for me, I'm not coming out. I'm tired of this nigga using me like I'm just some piece of meat for him to show around all his homeboys. You know what? I'm gonna teach this nigga a lesson. He think he mighty powerful. He the king. He ain't running shit. I'm not going out there. He called for this woman in the middle of this party, this celebration. She never come out. So the party continued to go on, but the word started getting back to the men. Yeah, the queen told all the other wives that she wasn't finna show up. She told everybody she was going to embarrass the king. Right. Well, goddamn, what the king going to do? So the next day after the party, or some time later, all his counselors gather with the king. And they say, King, you know that embarrassing moment you had at that party with the queen, that wasn't no accident, brother. Mm-hmm. She went and she told all the wives, F this nigga, F the king. I don't give a damn who he think he is. I'm the queen. I'm the bad bitch. He don't just call me whenever he want to call on me. King, you got to deal with that out, because if you don't show everybody, you don't put this woman in her place, well, guess what? My woman ain't going to be in order at my house. And I'm not finna deal with no out of order woman, King. So you got to fix this, brother. You got to take care of this, because you the king. You got to set the example for everybody else. And if your woman get to be out of order, guess what? All our women is out of order. And if all our women is out of order, we ain't got no kingdom. Because what the hell is an empire where all the women is out of order? Everybody understands. So the king was forced to have to take heed to his counselors. Even though the king might have loved this woman, even though the king might have, dang, she's so bad, she's so fine, he had to deal with this rebellion. And so what did the king have to do? He had to take heed to his leaders, to the men who counseled him. He had to get rid of that woman. So he made a great showing before the whole nation. Yeah, y'all remember that party the other day when Vashti didn't come out? Right. Well, guess what? She not my wife no more. Right. She ain't the queen. She's getting replaced. Mm-hmm. Everybody understands. Mm-hmm. And this time, it wasn't Beyonce singing to the left. It was the king saying to the left. You understand? It wasn't Beyonce saying you irreplaceable. It was the king saying, don't no hoe stop no show. He got rid of Vashti. Everybody understands. So the whole first chapter of the book of Esther is that. He having a big party, showing off all the great things he got. He want to show off his woman. What man don't want to show off his woman? What man don't want his woman on his arm to be seen? Yeah, nigga, I got all these cars and these elephants and horses and powerful men. But yeah, my choice prize is this thing that get to lay down with me at night. She tried to rebel against him on that, you funky hoe. Guess what? I'm going to go find another one to show off. I'm going to get me another one badder and finer and younger than you. Everybody understands. That's what the king did. So we picking up in the second chapter of Esther where the king is like, I'm on a search for the new queen. I'm on a search for a woman who's going to honor me and love me, but also bad and fine as hell. Everybody understands. And this is where Mordecai and Esther enter into the story. So honestly, we in Esther chapter 2, verse 5, if you could pick up there.
It's the book of Esther, chapter 2, verse 5. Now in Shushan, the place there were a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shema, the son of Kish, the son of Benjamin.
You understand? So this brother was in Shushan, the palace, which means he was in the capital city, right? Shushan was the capital city of the Persian Empire. It would be like being in Washington, D.C. today. Everybody understands? So that's where they were. And there was a brother who was the son of Jair, the son of Shemi, the son of Kish, a Benjamite. Everybody understands? This gives you his lineage. And it's important that his lineage is established because it shows you that in Israel, who you were and where you from mattered. Right. Who you were and where you from was important.
So the king was a heathen, though.
The king was a heathen.
Always.
Yeah, this king was a heathen.
Now, this brother we talk about now, he is real.
He is real. He's from the tribe of Benjamin. Understand? Now, understand this. Mordecai, why is he living in the capital city of this heathen king? Anybody want to answer? Why would an Israelite be living in the capital city of a heathen king?
Money.
Raise your hand.
He had a job to get some money.
Okay. What kind of job do you think he had? Think about the capital city. Let's think about the capital city in every state, right? We in Tennessee. What's the capital city of Tennessee? Nashville. What kind of Negroes live in Nashville and work in the capital? You said what? Raise your hand. Go ahead.
Uncle Tom.
Hey, Uncle Tom. Okay, what made you say they Uncle Toms?
I mean, shit. In order to get that type of position, you gotta kiss a lot of asses. But I would say,
okay,
they wouldn't let me do it.
Okay, okay. So I see where you're coming from with that. Are all of them Uncle Toms? Is it only?
I would say that.
Okay, so you for sure got some Uncle Tom niggas, kiss ass niggas is in the Capitol, and you right. A lot of them the cats that's in the Capitol is to shave your face and talk like this and hey Bob, them kind of guys, right? But are they the only ones that's there? Sister Kapataza.
So like you said, my mom's friend moved to Nashville just for a fresh start. It's like it's a cheap way to move from Memphis. So it's like I don't want to move to Texas or a big city. I just want to relocate just for a fresh start. So that's that's how I've always thought of Nashville as just like you just trying to get away from Memphis, but you just
don't want to go somewhere too expensive.
You want to go too expensive, but let me just get a fresh start. Okay. I'm going to Nashville.
So you on it. That's one way to move, right? But this brother was in Shushan the Palace, which means he's not just living in Nashville. Okay. He's living near the governor's mansion. Right. He's living in the neighborhood where all of the uppity making government deal cats is at. So he's up there. He's a prestigious man. That's the point the Bible is making by saying he lived in Shushan the Palace. So I'm saying, what type of Israelites would be living in the prestigious place where all the prestigious business-making, decision-making people are at? I said the sellouts is there for sure, the Uncle Toms and the Coons, but also the highly intelligent brothers are there. The people who excel in mathematics and political science and psychology. Those don't have to be sellouts. But you do have to be smart.
The heathen wants them there too, just like now.
Because because the heathen need them kind of niggas because those are the niggas you want on your team. Mordecai was one of those brothers. Mordecai was intelligent and smart. Mordecai was educated, and the devils needed niggas like that. So Mordecai lived in Shushan the Palace, very close to where all of the goings on of the kingdom was going on. Right. So when the king put out the word, I need me a new woman, this brother got wind of it. He's in vicinity to know, okay, you know what? They time for a new queen. Let's keep reading. I'm gonna take it from here. I'm gonna take it just for time's sake. Esther 2:6, who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity which had been carried away with Jeconiah, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away. So this brother was taken from Jerusalem during the time of Jeconiah the king, when the Babylonians came and took over Jerusalem and took all of the smart, educated men at the capital city of Israel. So hold your point. Mordecai was from a family of educated, articulate black men from the tribe of Benjamin. So when as Mordecai grew up, when the Persians and the Medes took over the Babylonian kingdom and took all of the people from that capital to their capital, Mordecai was one of them educated, smart, political niggas that got taken as well. Everybody understands? Come on,
like Daniel now.
Just like Daniel. Daniel was the same way. Daniel was in the king's court because they was educated Israelites. Him and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. All of them was some smart niggas. Everybody understands? So we establishing the class of men we talking about. This is a very classy brother. This is an upscale brother. Everybody understands? Boom. Verse 7. And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter. Why is she Hadassah, who is Esther? That is Esther. Kapataza.
Like a slave name, Hebrew name?
Yes, that's the point. Hadassah is her Hebrew name. Esther is her slave name.
Okay.
Everybody understands? Just like you is, you Kapataza here, but you whoever the hell, wherever else you at. You understand?
What's the rest of the Hebrew names then?
They give you a lot. They give you everybody in the Bible. They give you a lot of these people. Listen, Daniel's Hebrew name was Daniel. His slave name was Belshazzar.
Yeah.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was their Hebrew names, but they had some goofy ass slave names. You understand? So the Bible laying it out for you. The Bible give you the whole breakdown. All right. So he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter. So this is his niece, right? For she had neither mother nor father, and the maid was fair and beautiful. Now let me ask y'all this: why didn't Esther have a mother or a father? Why is her uncle raising her? Sis.
They could have died.
They could have died. Could have been murdered in the taking over of Jerusalem. Hell, they could have gotten hooked on some kind of drugs. Hey, they could have been in poverty. Could have been poor. Maybe they couldn't take care of the girl, so they said, Mordecai, could you please take this girl? And she grew up without her mother and father. Is that an unusual thing? That's very common for Israelites to go through, right? Esther wasn't no different than any of us. Esther was a sister whose parents wasn't there. Who knows why they wasn't there? But her uncle took care of her. Her uncle took her in. It reminded me of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You understand? Will Smith. One day he got into it at the playground. Yeah, that's what this is. Esther went to move with her uncle in Shushan the palace. Everybody understands? And I've said that to show you, it's not, the lives we live today are very common. It may seem that we in unusual circumstances, but as an Israelite, these are the circumstances that we've always found ourselves in. You understand? So this Mordecai was a very upscale, classy, educated brother. He taking care of his brother's daughter, his niece, and he raising her up. She's beautiful and she's fair, and she's now being raised in his house. What else is she? She's educated. She's classy. She's articulate. She's going to the best schools, learning how to speak multiple languages. She's speaking the heathen language. She's speaking the Hebrew. This is a sister who has been raised under a good. She come from good stock, is what black people say. That's Esther. Everybody understands? Keep reading. It says, and the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter. So there's the answer. Her mother and father died. Mordecai took her. Verse 8, so it came to pass when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the palace to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was brought also unto the king's house to the custody of Haggai, keeper of the women. Now, they go to start this search for a new woman. How does Esther end up in the house of Haggai, the keeper of the women?
How did Haggai become the keeper of the women?
Haggai was a different guy. He's some random cat, but he's the man in charge of the house where all the women live who are being prepared for the king. My question to y'all is, how does Esther end up at this house? Shawaba?
Okay, my guess would be that her uncle was like, the king is looking for a new wife.
Yes, Mordecai.
Going over there.
Mordecai brought her to Haggai and said, listen, man, it's my daughter, but I think she might be right for the king, and I'm putting her in your custody. I'm putting her in your charge. Everybody understands? Come on with it, Osh.
That's still a heathen king, right?
Still a heathen king. But Mordecai, being a righteous man, sees an opportunity.
Right.
And he wants a good life for this girl.
Yeah, okay.
And the king is looking for a woman. He's raised this girl.
Yeah.
How would a righteous man raise a daughter? What kind of wife would a righteous man's daughter be? Come on, Ash.
No, she's gonna be super solid. She's gonna know everything, I know.
She's gonna be super solid.
Yeah.
She's gonna know righteousness. She's gonna know how to be I give it all away. Since you was to say something?
Worth the money.
That too. She would be worth the dowry, right?
Yeah.
What else you was gonna say, sis? She would be submissive. She would be a good wife.
Yeah.
Mordecai knows I didn't raise this girl to be a good wife. What kind of man does Mordecai want this girl to go to? This girl whose mother and father died, her people been in captivity. But Mordecai is an upscale, educated, classy man working for the government. What kind of husband does he want for this girl? What kind of life does he want for her? He want her to have a good life. He want her to be honored. He want her to be revered. So he sees an opportunity. This king is looking for a wife.
Right.
And I know that ain't nothing more beautiful than the Israelite woman. And I know that ain't no woman more righteous and obedient and submissive than this daughter that I've raised up. So he goes to Esther. He say, listen, I'm going to take you to Haggai. And they're gonna take you in here. They're going to teach you some things about the customs of these heathens. But this king is looking for a wife. And I think you fit to be the queen. So Mordecai puts her in that position. Everybody understands? Now, could Esther have rejected it? What if Esther said, I don't want this king. I don't want to go through this 6-month process. You understand? She could say he's a heathen. But she didn't. Why? Because she was raised to be an obedient daughter. She was raised to trust Mordecai, who was her uncle, but treated her like he was her father. So because of his leadership and his guidance, she went and she was in preparation to be a maiden for this king. Everybody understands? All right, we're gonna come off of that. Matter of fact, no, I'm gonna keep reading. This is Esther 2:9. And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him, and he speedily gave her things for purification, with such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens which were meet to be given her out of the king's house. And he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of the women. Why was this Hagar cat so impressed with this woman? Why did she please him so much with her kindness and her gentleness? What made him give her preferential treatment over all the other women? Because this was a woman who was raised in a righteous household. This was a woman who was raised on how to please a man and how to, yes, sir. No, sir. Is there anything I can do for you, sir? No problem. Bowing her head. And this Hagar cat who's in charge of preparing women for the king is like, oh, no, the king gonna love this one. She's so bad. And she's just obedient. She's so gentle and precious. She's so happy and smiling all the goddamn time. Why this girl so goddamn happy? You know what? I'm gonna give you 7 women to wait on you to help you be prepared for the king. This sister got in there and gained favor, was accepted, and was looked at highly favorably because of how Mordecai had raised her. She excelling. Everybody understands? Verse 10. Esther had not showed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it. Nobody knew where this girl was from. She was a mystery to these people. Why? Because Mordecai told her, now you get in this house, don't you go running your goddamn mouth about where you come from. Okay. All you do is you smile and you bow and you keep your head down. You say yes, sir, no, sir, and everything gonna be all right. So these people didn't even know who Esther was. Now imagine women from all over the earth, all being brought to be prepared for this king. What you think them hoes was in there doing? I'm the daughter of boobity blobbity blah from the Edomites, and I'm chicka 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 from the Ching Chang people. I'm sorry, that's a horrible Chinese accent. I can't make fun of no Chinese. Abula bula from the African. I'm bad with it, y'all. I'm sorry, but you know the women was in there. I am from the Dago tribe. They in there comparing and contrasting, and the men where I am from all want to meet these goofy bitches in there telling all their business. That's in there quiet. Not trying to impress nobody, not trying to show off. She's just being dainty and sweet and getting all the glory for it. Everybody understand? Why? Because she took heed to what it is that Mordecai told her. Everybody understand? Verse 11, and Mordecai walked every day before the court of the women's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her. You understand? So this brother Mordecai is in proximity to all of the goings-ons in the government. He walking by his house every day, just looking over the fence, looking in there. He's seeing Esther in the mirror up there in the window. They putting on her dress and getting her all together. And he look at the window. She look out the window and smile and wink at him or something. He's checking on her. Right. Why? Because this is a brother who's responsible over this girl. Right. You understand? Not only was Mordecai leading her and guiding her, Mordecai was also protecting her. Right. He watching out for this girl. Even though he can't be there every day, he don't want to give away all the business. Right. He still was doing his job and checking on her and making sure she was being safe, but also making progress. Everybody understand? Verse 12. Now, when every maid's turn was come to go into King Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months, according to the manner of women, for so were the days of their purifications accomplished, to wit, 6 months with oil and myrrh, and 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things for the purifying of the woman. Now, this is the culture of these particular heathens. Okay. Before a man dealt with you, you had to be purified for 12 months. You understand?
A lot of bras there.
You understand that? Listen to this. 6 months you had to be purified with oil and myrrh, and then 6 months with sweet odors and with other things. What is this oil talking about? What is this purifying talking about? You got something?
I was going to say, he was tired of nasty heathens smelling stinky and shit, so they had to come up with a system.
That's exactly what it was.
Is that right though, for real?
For the purifying was to get you.
We knew how to wash.
Yeah, but they had a system. You could come from some funky ass land. where they don't wash, where they don't bathe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So before these women could be brought before the king, you better not bring no funky woman before the king. 6 months, these women had to be bathed and lotioned up with oil and myrrh. Come on with it.
So like you said, that's a long detox. That sounds like a whole.
It's a detox. It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Get out your system. What is it?
But listen, here's what you also got to think of though. It's 6 months of purifying in the oils, right? Softening her skin, cleaning her,
she getting beautiful.
Dealing with her hair, getting her nails done. Also, what is happening during these 6 months? She's learning the ways of this king. They teaching her, what do they call them? What them classes they put women in and learn how to, etiquette classes. Learn how to make the table and learn how to, yes, king, no, king. What if he choke you? Then you teach a bitch how to get choked. Whatever the case may have been, Salaki. She had to learn whatever. This 6 months, she's being purified with the oil and the myrrh. Then another 6 months. So, and think of what 6 months of being bathed in oil and myrrh do to the skin. Talk about soft. You know, a nasty phrase I never liked was baby soft, or softer than a baby's ass. That's kind of, where you get that from? Why? You know what I'm saying? Why can't it be soft as rabbit fur? Like, where you get baby's ass from? Excuse my language. Why? God damn, there's a lot of soft things in this world. Let's not be soft as a baby's ass. Excuse my language. You understand? But the oil and the myrrh going to soften a woman up, even the most hardcore women. Hell, these women could have been brought from some village where they doing push-ups and pull-ups every day. Well, guess what? The king don't want no broad to lay next to. For 6 months, she's in the oil and myrrh, pampered and all of that. Then another 6 months, she's in sweet smelling odors. So think of the body. After a year just being bathed in, you get to get in that room. I got to talk to the mic like, you get to get in that room. Man, what? You get to just, you know what I'm saying? They trying to teach you some things in this Bible, brother. You better get you a woman. Guess what? What's the what is the rule? What structure does the Israelite school of UPK have in place to make sure that a woman is righteously prepared to receive a man? What's the rules of the school, Sister Kapatazar?
I think I have.
Come on with it.
So you have to be in a courtship for 6 months or longer before you get married.
Even when you come into the school, you off limits. Yeah. So it's 6 months to shed yourself for the world. Right. Then it's another 6 months to court. Yeah. So in a year's time, what should a woman be ready for? She's ready. She should be ready. Guess what? What should she be doing in the first 6 months when a woman comes into the school? What should she be doing? Cleansing herself, detox. All the demons and the spirits and the trauma she done been through. That too. You're right. Don't sweat, but she coming in. She getting cleaned up for 6 months. Then that 6 month courting process, she should be getting clean. She should be bathing in sweet odors and putting oil and myrrh on. She should be getting soft and dainty and wonderful smelling for a man. It's been about a year. Ain't nobody been. It should be smelling wonderful down there. What's going on? That would be nice. That's the rules we have in here, and that's biblical. Everybody understands. The purifying of a woman was a year long for these cats. Everybody understands. All right. Verse 13. Then thus came every maiden unto the king, whatsoever she desired was given her to go with her out of the house of the women unto the house of the king. Everybody understands. This is verse 15. Now in the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go unto the king, she required nothing but what Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the women, appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her. Everybody understand? Esther chanced that the opportunity was given to all women to get whatever you want. Ask the king, tell him what you require in order for him to bed you or to lay you down. Guess what all the women who were led by unrighteous men asked for? Oh, I want $10,000. You know what? I want a new Ferrari and a new house for my mother and my father. And I want to get this and that, these red bottom shoes. All these other women wanted a lot. Esther didn't want nothing but what Haggai told her she should ask for. And because she asked for so little, it was looked at like, damn, is this bad, fine woman who's so sweet and kind and nice? She don't want nothing from the king? She would. She's winning, Oz. Because she's letting it be known, all I want is to be the king's wife. All I want is the king. I don't want nothing else. Imagine that, Oz. Imagine a woman come to you. Listen, what these women be saying nowadays, Oz? I need a man that's gonna what the fuck they say? What you bringing to the table? Bitch, what I'm bringing to the table? Listen, this woman stepped up. Esther just said, I just want to be your wife.
I want Esther.
I just want to be with you.
What she look like?
Listen, that's a righteous woman. That's a woman that's led by a righteous leader. So we seeing here just how important Mordecai's leadership was in this woman's life.
Right.
How important Mordecai's guidance was for her to obtain favor of the king.
Right.
This was a daughter who obeyed her father and did what he said to do, and because of it, she was favored. Right. Everybody understands. All right. Let's drop that. Matter of fact, hold on. Matter of fact, let's keep reading in Esther 2. Esther 2:18. Then the king made a great feast unto all his princes and his servants, even Esther's feast. He had a feast for Esther. And he made a release to the provinces and gave gifts according to the state of the king. And when the virgins were gathered together at the second time, then Mordecai sat in the king's gate. Verse 20, Esther had not yet showed her kindred, nor her people, as Mordecai had charged her. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him.
Okay. So she ain't say nothing about being Israel until Mordecai getting ready to, if we keep reading, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they didn't even know she was an Israelite, did
they? Didn't know she was an Israelite.
Okay.
And it was important that they didn't know she was an Israelite, because later on, when the man who had got the king to sign an order to kill all the Israelites had a dinner with Esther,
okay.
Esther told the king, I'm of the children of Israel who this man is trying to kill. That's when she came out and told who she was. And if she had not hid it all that time, then guess what? She wouldn't have had that card to pull.
Right, she wouldn't even been there.
So that's what happens when you follow righteous leadership. Mordecai knew what he was doing by telling her, don't let nobody know who you are.
Right.
And by her obeying, later on, way down the road, it came in handy. It was the reason we got delivered. Because if Haman had known she was an Israelite, Haman would have tried to do something to get her in bad favor of the king.
Babylonians was hardcore on us, wasn't they?
You understand? These are the Persians, though. This is after the Babylonians.
Okay.
These are the Persians and the Medes.
How many times we didn't say
It was the Babylonians, then it was the Persians. So the Persians didn't really rule over us cruelly. The Persians dealt with us fairly. When the Persians took over Babylon, they let us go back and build the temple.
So the Persians got, if I may say.
Go ahead.
The Persians got us from Babylon.
Yes.
It's like a transfer of slaves.
That's all it was.
Man, why the fuck?
No sweat. Come on.
Why is we always slaves?
Okay, understand this. Right now, on the earth, the white man is ruling the earth. Everybody else is under him. That's just how it works. The earth has always been one nation is in power, everybody else is under them. So Israel was just another nation under the Persians. We don't think slaves at this time.
Okay.
We just was another group of people that they had charge over. But it wasn't like
it wasn't chattel slave.
It wasn't chattel slave.
Okay.
It was just we was just another people who they ruled over.
Okay.
We was just another people that paid taxes. Okay. That's all it was.
We didn't want to get fucked up. They go bigger and better.
That's it. We just had to respect. We had to respect who's in charge.
Okay.
After the Babylonians,
not chattel slavery.
Not the Babylonians. It was
put us in chattel slavery.
It was the Babylonians.
They put us in chattel slavery.
They put us in slavery.
Like chattel slavery, like the hunky did.
Like the hunky did. Then the Persians came and defeated them. The Persians said, "Man, y'all go back to y'all land, do y'all thing. Just make sure y'all pay these taxes. Make sure y'all do what y'all supposed to do." You understand? Then after the Persians, it was the Greeks. The Greeks came back in there with chattel slavery again.
Yeah, the Greeks came. Then it was chattel again.
Then it was the Romans. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just how the transfer of power works on the earth.
Why are we always on the ass end? Did we ever have any other people as chattel slaves?
During the days of David and Solomon.
Did we have some chattel slave people?
During the days of David and Solomon.
Canaan,
all the other Canaanites, Ammonites, and other nations that was around us.
Chattel slavery?
When you say chattel, what do you mean? They were slaves. They were in chains, doing what they have to do following, you know what I'm saying? They were slaves, but we never dealt with other nations cruelly. We had laws on how we dealt with our slaves.
Right.
So a slave in Israel is just an employee.
Right. So it ain't chattel like the hunky did us over here.
Nah.
He did us bad then.
That was special
the
bad.
worst of all the slaveries. What he did his last time.
Yes.
God.
That was the worst. All right. So we see here in Esther the 2nd chapter that the leadership of Mordecai is what enabled Esther to be in a position where she was able to gain favor of the king. She was able to rise in stature, and she was inevitably chosen by the king. Everybody understand? Now we're gonna drop down from that. Now I'm gonna skip over the part with Haman and Mordecai. Right? This cat Haman was an Edomite, and this cat Haman hated the fact that Mordecai was honored and was given favor by the Persians. Haman. This cat Haman was he's an Edomite. He's not just a heathen, he's an Edomite. He's also in service to the Persians. He also lives in the capital city. Persian. Haman is not Persian. Haman is
another hater of us. He worked his way up in the ranks.
Yes. Okay. So Haman is the white guy at the job.
Right.
Mordecai is the black guy at the job. But the leader is a Persian. The Persian is the boss.
He owns it. Yeah,
but the white man you and the white man at the same job.
Right.
Now, every day they sound an alarm. No, every day the white man walk in, the white man is like he middle management. So all the other employees stop and say, "Hey Bob, how you doing? Yeah. Hey Haman, what's going on? Hey Haman, good to see you today." Yeah. Mordecai walk by, don't even say nothing to the devil. Okay. Mordecai don't pay Haman no attention. Yeah. Haman hates this nigga.
Okay.
Haman is an Edomite. This is crazy. Yeah. Haman is the white man on the job. Mordecai is the nigga. And the Persians running. All the other employees love the white man. Hey, Bob. Hey, Haman, how you doing? What's going on, Haman? Did you see the game? Mordecai walked through. See Haman, don't even say nothing to him. Yeah. Haman hates it. Yeah. He hates this proud nigga, won't even acknowledge me.
That's how it is right now.
We reading it in the Bible thousands of years ago.
You, that's how it is right
Here's
now.
how petty this devil was. This devil was so mad that this nigga wouldn't acknowledge him that the devil set up a plan to kill all niggas.
All niggas.
Haman wanted all Israelites wiped out because Mordecai would not say hi to him on the job.
That's how they do, though.
That's how they
fucked up.
Watch your language. You right, Joe. But that's the story we read.
Okay.
This whole book of Esther and Haman trying to kill all the Jews was because a nigga wouldn't acknowledge him on the job.
That's how that's
when devil, if I'm at the job, I came here to do my 9 to 5. I ain't come here to say hi to you.
Your money.
I ain't come here to say hi to you, to be your friend. I'm just here to do my goddamn job. But the white man was so bothered that this nigga would not acknowledge him, and he set out to kill all niggas. And we reading this thousands of years ago. Everybody understands. In the book of Esther. Everybody understands. So, because Mordecai would not bow to him, Haman wanted to get all niggas destroyed. And so Haman, having favor of the king, went to the king on some sneak stuff and was like, listen, there's a people that's a threat to you, king. They won't honor anybody. They won't pay reverence to any leadership. They don't recognize no authority. And if you don't deal with them, they're going to one day destroy you, king. You should do something about these people. Put it in the king's ear. And the king said, damn, Haman, thanks for telling me, man. Who these horrible people? What I got to do? Haman said, sir, I got this letter here that says you're going to put them all to death because they are rebellious and they won't listen to what you say. I just need you to sign off on it. The king, trusting this devil, not knowing what was going on, gave the devil the approval. He approved the letter for all Israelites to be killed on a certain date.
Jim Crow, what's his name?
Willie Lynch, Jim Crow, all of that.
Yeah, type of
this
shit.
Devil he pulled one of those way back thousands of years ago in the Persian.
Against us, right?
Against us. So the letter went out saying that all Israel should be killed. Right? And we're picking up at Esther the 4th chapter. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and bitter cry, and came even before the king's gate, for none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. And in every province whatsoever the king's commandment and his decree came, there was great mourning amongst the Jews, and fasting, and weeping, and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. Everybody understands? So Esther's maids and her chamberlains came and told it her. Then was the queen exceedingly grieved, and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai and to take away his sackcloth from him, but he received it not. So word got back to Esther, your father out there, he was crying. He ripped his clothes off and put on sackcloth and threw ashes on his head, dirt on his head. Girl, he was out there. He something going on. Right. Esther's feeling bad and don't know what's happening. She said, "Girl, go get my father some clothes and tell him get him out the streets." She go try to give aid to Mordecai, right? Verse 6. Verse 5. Then called Esther for Hatak, one of the king's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know what it was and why it was. So she said, "This brother, go find out what's going on." Now, what does renting your clothes and crying out loud and throwing ashes on yourself represent for Israelites? For time's sake, Osh, go ahead. Okay, give me a little bit more.
Well, you fucked up and you really feel it. You want everybody to know you breaking yourself down. Like, I thought I was something, but now I'm going to take my good clothes off and make myself dirty, I would say.
Make myself dirty is excellent. I'm going to not front.
Right.
We had a custom in Israel that we wouldn't put on no front. We ain't pretending like everything is all right if everything is not all right. Yeah. That ripping your clothes off and putting on sackcloth, which is like bummy clothes. Mm-hmm. A lot of people walk around in sackcloth today. Our oppressor walk around in sackcloth. Sackcloth is like just bummy clothes. Don't know Israelite that got it together walk around in sackcloth. You understand? You see an Israelite in sackcloth, they're going through it. The wino at the liquor store every day, he's in sackcloth. Yeah. The bum who's homeless or who poor and can't find his way, he's in sackcloth. That old army veteran that got high one time and never was able to get right again, he's in sackcloth. Right. But the Israelite who got himself together, I'll fly everywhere I go. Right. See me in the grocery store, I'm gonna have some sweatpants on, little t-shirt, but guess what? The colors is gonna be matching. Goddamn it, I'm gonna be fresh no matter what. Headband tied up, Mitri looking good. That's just Israelite culture. So to see a man, this brother who's normally prestigious and honorable, he out there wailing and in sackcloth and throwing dirt on himself, that's a sign that something's seriously wrong. So when she get word that her father was out there, she knows, oh no, something going on. Sent this cat Hatak, go find out, go talk to Mordecai, find out why is he grieving. Everybody understands? Verse 6. So Hatak went forth to Mordecai unto the street of the city, which was before the king's gate. And Mordecai told him of all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay to the king's treasuries for the Jews to destroy them. And he gave him a copy of the writing of the decree that was given to Shushan to destroy them, to show it unto Esther, and to declare it unto her, and to charge her that she should go in unto the king to make supplication unto him, and to make request before him and her people. And Hatak came and told Esther the words of Mordecai. Everybody understands. What did Mordecai do?
He set that shit up.
Salakia. Come on with it. No, you got it.
He set it up.
Set what up?
The whole scenario.
Give me the details.
So she gonna see that because she know the custom. Mm-hmm. And then she gonna try to make it right. Mm-hmm. He like lit a spark for her. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but
I would say
you right. Everything you just said was right. Give it to me specifically on what he told the cat. What did he do? What did he just do? The message he gave the cat to give to Esther was what? No sweat, sis.
Is it like you need to tell your husband, like, don't do this?
Okay. Close. Anybody else? No problem. He gave her an order. That's what he did. He said, listen, girl, you need to make this right. Everybody understands. This wasn't no, can you see what you could do? Maybe you might can help. Listen, you need to make something happen. He gave her the letter, we're gonna be destroyed. The whole nation gonna die. You need to go talk to that husband of yours. You need to make something happen. Everybody understands. Why did Mordecai, okay, not why. Mordecai knew that he could talk to her that way because that is how he raised her.
Yeah, she was his.
Mordecai raised her, do what I tell you to do. This was him giving her the orders, just like he gave her the orders not to let nobody know where she was from. Just like he gave her the orders to go to the king's house. You know what I'm saying? Just like he gave her all the other orders we reading about, this is how he talked to her. You need to let her know we're going to die. The people are going to perish. She need to go talk to their husband to make something happen ASAP. It got to happen now. Everybody understand? Verse 11. And the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whosoever, whether man or woman, shall come into the king into the inner court who is not called, there is one law of his to put him to death, except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter, that he may live. But I have not been called to come in unto the king these 30 days. And they told to Mordecai Esther's words. So Mordecai gave her an order. Esther said, but there's a law here that if I go before the king and he didn't call for me, if the king don't reach out his scepter to me, I'll be put to death. So Esther's letting Mordecai know what you're asking me to do is possibly die. Because if I go to him and it's wrong, I'm going to die. Everybody understands. Verse 13. Then Esther commanded to answer. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther. Think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews. Don't think just about yourself. Don't think you're going to avoid death too because you in the king's house. Bitch, don't be proud. Don't be high-minded. Don't think you better than the rest of us because you got this position. This is Mordecai reminding her. You talking back. Don't think you better than what's going to happen to the rest of us. You understand? Don't forget where you come from. Don't forget you my goddamn daughter. I put you in this goddamn position. You better do what I tell you to do. Everybody understand? He gonna go on some more. Verse 13. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place, but thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. And who knows whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Mordecai said, listen, you can play if you want. Don't speak up. The Lord going to find another way to deliver us. But you and your father's house going to die. Ain't nothing good going to come to you. Everybody understands? Going with it.
Being Israel, she know that that's true, though.
Being Israel, she know that that's true. He said, listen, woman, this could be the whole reason why you even came to the kingdom. Yeah. Your mother and your father dying, you having to come live in my house, me raising you. All of this could have been for you to be in this moment right now. And for all of us, that's important because you got to think about your life. And you got to think about some of the things that you done been through and some of the situations you done made it out of. And know that the Most High got a plan for you. You're not here by accident. You for no reason. The same way Esther was not there for no reason. All of that she went through was for this moment now. And Mordecai, being the righteous man of God, is explaining to her, baby girl, this is your time. This is what the Lord chose you for. Everybody understand? And that's what righteous leadership does. Righteous leadership will show you your purpose. Righteous leadership will lead you to your time, your moment to shine. You understand? And if you take heed to the counsel and if you trust the leadership, then you'll be right where the Lord requires you to be. Everybody understands? Imagine if Esther wasn't a good daughter. She didn't obey Mordecai. She was a bad girl. Teenage, she want to run away and don't want to obey. She wouldn't have been in this position she was in now. But because she was a good girl and she listened, and Mordecai was such an upscale, classy brother and such a righteous man, all of these things work together for good. Everybody understand? Verse 15. Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer. Go gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise. and so will I go in unto the king, which is not according to the law, and if I perish, I perish. She said, yes, sir, I'll do what you told me to do. I only ask that you get everybody together, and y'all fast for 3 days and 3 nights. Me and my sisters, we gonna fast for 3 days and 3 nights, and I'm gonna go to the king, and if I lose my life, then so be it. Esther didn't say no. Esther didn't say, well, damn, Mordecai, why you gotta be so hard on me? She said, "Con under one con." Everybody understands. And that is important when it comes to being led righteously. You have to trust the men who the Lord has put in charge. You have to trust the men who the Lord has put in positions in your life to give you the counsel and give you the wisdom that you don't know that you need. Esther thought, hey, I might die going in there. Mordecai had to remind her, bitch, don't you know your Lord will kill you too? Right. Don't think that you're gonna get away. Don't think that you're gonna escape. The Lord gonna kill you too. You better do what I'm telling you to do, or else the Lord gonna find somebody else to save us, and you gonna die anyway. Yeah. Everybody understands, and that's the fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord is real, in that you can't expect nothing to go your way if you don't put your trust in the Lord. Put these decisions and these things you doing with your life, put it in the Lord's hands, and no matter what way it turns out, guess what? The Lord gonna be with you. Come on, Oscar.
Going too hard.
Listen. This. Come on, Oscar.
Precept. You got no precepts in there. Ain't down there. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of what is that?
Beginning of the Lord is the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
What is that precept?
Let's get it.
God damn, see what I'm saying? You took off. You still teaching class, right?
Listen, that's the Lord, you know what I'm saying? If it's hitting you like that, that's the Lord, you understand?
Which one is it?
Get Proverbs 9 and 10. Let's read it right quick. You got it, Oz. You got it. Proverbs 9 and 10.
Okay, shit.
Damn, he gets that one so hard.
Most High Christ. Yeah, Proverbs 9 and 10.
Salaki, sir. I'm just,
Nah, I understand.
You said 9 and 10, sir?
Yeah, Proverbs 9 and 10.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Right.
And the knowledge of Salaki.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it one more time. It's Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding.
Everybody understands that. You understand?
Okay, go back.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Everybody understands. So Mordecai applied the fear of the Lord.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's right.
And guess what? Esther got understanding of the holy by remembering we are righteous people. Yeah. She said, Mordecai, have them fast for me and pray for me, and I'm going to go do this thing that you told me to do. Everybody understands? Sometimes you might need that. Sometimes you get an order to do something that's difficult. You might have to say, Salakia, sir, I may need to fast. Okay, you fast with me? Can you fast for me? Don't be afraid to ask of that. You understand? If anything you going through or you struggling with in life, the men of the Lord are here to be in it with you. Everybody understands. Paul talks about that in the New Testament. I'm gonna get that right now. All right, get another precept on that. Let's get New Testament. We're gonna get Romans chapter 12. You understand? And this is important that we understand that we are in this together. There is no such thing as I in the truth. Everybody understands? It's we. The Bible is not a book of I's. The Bible is a book of we's. You understand? When them prophets went out before the children of Israel, they didn't say, you children of Israel. They spoke of us. We, the children of Israel. We the family, the house. We the house that the Lord is known. We the family that the Lord brought up out of the land of Egypt. Everybody understands? Israel has always been a we nation because I can't do nothing unless we are going together. Everybody understand? Mordecai understood that. And in Esther understanding it as a woman, she said, well, I need us to pray. I need us to fast. Everybody understands. This is Romans chapter 12, Romans chapter 12, verse 10. I'm going to read it. It says, be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, in honor preferring one another, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. What does it mean, not slothful in business? Not slothful in the business of the Lord. We can't be lazy in loving one another and being affectionate towards one another. You understand? What is being lazy? My phone ringing. I don't feel like answering. You can't be slothful in business. You can't do that. You understand? Fervent in spirit, serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. Everybody understands? Distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality. What's that? Looking out for one another, taking care of each other, distributing to the necessity of the saints. What you need, I got you. Take care of it. Hey, sister so and so need to get up $2,000. You need to get up $200, y'all, for this surgery or something. Stroller for the baby. What do? We're gonna come together and we're gonna get that $200 up. That's what this is talking about. Looking out for one another because we all we got. Everybody understands?
And the Lord told you to do it.
It's right there. We reading it. We reading it.
You know what I'm saying?
The people in the world don't get it. The people in the world don't get it. That's why we got us.
You know what I mean? And the fear of the Lord.
Yeah.
He told me to do something. I'm going.
You're gonna do it.
This shit simple.
For sure, for sure. When we at Romans 12 and 14. Bless them which persecute them. Bless and curse not. Rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep. You understand? You can't be sad by yourself. Who told you to be sad by yourself? I got to be sad with you, or I'm not doing my job.
Right.
You celebrating something? I better celebrate with you. What we celebrate? You celebrating, nigga? You didn't tell me. Y'all better not be celebrating. There ain't no name what you celebrating about. Y'all better not be having no happy times, and I don't know about it. I want to know about it. That income tax check coming is more than what you thought it was going to be. You better let me know about it. You hit the lotto. You better tell me, yo, Cap, I came up. Most high cry. I don't need to know all your business. Just let me know you came up. You ain't got to tell me the details. Pay your tithes and let's celebrate. Drinks on you tonight. That's how I'm supposed to do. Everybody understands. You understand? That's Romans 12 and 15. Rejoice with them that do rejoice and weep with them that weep. Verse 16. Be of the same mind one toward another. Mind not high things, but condescend to men of low estates. Be not wise in your own conceits. Don't make yourself more important than the small people. Ain't nobody small in here. We all brothers and sisters. Ain't nobody above. What, I'm above celebrating with you? I'm above coming to your kids' graduation? Hell no, I'm going to be there yelling just like you. I want to be there holding up a sign just like you. Your kid got a damn piano recital. I bet to be there. Be the first one to come out they done say, hey, that was a good job. You playing that music. I didn't know you was in the music. We got to do this thing together. Everybody understands. Because nobody is going to love us like we love us because our love is of the Lord. Everybody understands. That's what Esther exhibited. She showed that because of the leadership and the guidance that she received from Mordecai. Everybody understands. So Esther asked everybody pray, everybody fast. And what did Mordecai do? Mordecai went and told everybody, we're going to have to fast, y'all. And we're going to have to pray. Esther going to go before this king. And we're going to see if the Lord is with us or not. What does fasting do for the nation of Israel? Why is fasting so powerful for us? Why is it such a major part of our culture? For time's sake, I'm gonna give it to y'all. Fasting shows the Lord that we are willing to sacrifice. Yeah. You understand? We'll go without food, we'll go without water because we know that we need the Lord. And fasting is something that many people on the earth do not do. Outside of the truth and the Hebrew culture, there isn't much fasting that goes on. Today, go ahead, Ash.
Did we start fasting?
Fasting come from the Lord. Yes, fasting is an Israelite custom. We're the only people on the earth that are required to fast. I'm talking about
like give up something.
Full day, no food, no water. We're the only people on the earth that has a custom like that. Okay. You understand that? And Muslims, what they do, they don't eat while the sun is up. Whoop they do. Yeah, that ain't what the Lord said. You understand? Come. Yeah, it's you denying your flesh. And denying your flesh gives your spirit strength. And when your spirit is stronger, guess what it does? It calls out to the Lord in ways that you can't. it draws you closer to the Most High in ways that nothing else can. Yeah. Everybody understands. And that is what's important. So this 3 days, I mean, that's heavy. That's heavy. 3 days, no food, no water, everybody fasting, everybody praying, everybody hoping to see the salvation and deliverance of the Most High. Everybody understands. And they all did it. All right. This is Esther chapter 5, verse 1. Now it came to pass on the 3rd day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house over against the gate of the house. And it was so when the king saw Esther the queen standing in the court that she obtained favor in his sight. And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter. Then said the king unto her, what wilt thou, Queen Esther, and what is thy request? It shall be given, it shall be even given thee to the half of the kingdom. And Esther answered, if it seem good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him. Then the king said, cause Haman to make haste that he may do as Esther has said. So the king and Haman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared. And the king said unto Esther at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? Even to the half of the kingdom it shall be performed. Then answered Esther and said, my petition and my request is, if I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do tomorrow as the king has said. Then went Haman forth that day joyful and with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up, nor moved for him, he was full of indignation of Mordecai. This cracker, he thought he got word that tomorrow you better come to this dinner with the king and the queen. This devil feeling good, riding high. It's like he know he about to get a promotion. Yeah. He out happy, coming out of the king's palace. And here come this nigga Mordecai who won't stand, who won't wave, who won't just say, hey, Bob.
Fuck up their whole, it fuck up them hookies' whole frame of mind. I swear to God, I'm dealing with a plantation leader right now.
You dealing with a Haman, huh?
It's just like that. He just can't. The plant been working great before your white ass got here. Uh-huh. And now you just got all kind of new rules and shit. You got me ready to quit, white boy. I'm not playing. Rest of the hookies is in the game. And I'm just like, man, this white boy don't quit. He just so mad at us, knowing we making money and shit, and we running this shit. I swear to God.
Yeah.
This shit is biblical, man.
It's biblical.
I swear to God, it's biblical.
It's biblical. So
this hooky, what's that hooky name?
Haman.
I'm talking about?
Haman.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him that when I go back to work. I told him about the Passover. He laughed at me. I wanted to take off on him.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
I need 3 days off.
Yeah.
What are you, Pastor? You're Jewish? Okay.
Listen, the Lord give you all the ammo. Yeah, the Lord.
I be putting up with these hookies, huh?
Listen, the Lord giving you the ammo you need right now. You just go to that job and you just plain face and just do your job. Yeah. And he get out of line, you just say, listen, Haman, stop it, man.
He gonna study himself because he call himself smart.
You just gonna call him Haman. You just gonna call him Haman. That's it. Don't even give him no more than that.
From here on out, he's Haman until he get out.
Most High Christ. So we seeing it right here. Thousands of years ago, a nigga ruining a white man's day.
Yeah.
Because he won't kiss his ass.
Right.
Because you won't smile at him and, oh, yes, sir, no, sir.
That's right.
They hate it. But guess what? It don't matter when the Lord is on your side. Right. Everybody understand? So Haman didn't move. Mordecai didn't move. The damn devil was mad as hell, right? This is Haman coming home to talk to his wife, right? Mm-hmm. This is Esther chapter 5, verse 11. And this is what you got to understand. This is what happens with these Edomites when they get home with their families, right?
Okay.
And nevertheless, Haman refrained himself. This is Esther 5 and 10. So he was full of indignation against Mordecai, right? Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself. And when he came home, he sent and called for his friends and Zeresh, his wife. And Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children and all the things wherein the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced him above the princes and servants of the king. So he's telling them about the raise he got, the what do they call it when you get a upgrade? Promotion. He's telling about the promotion, right? Verse 12. Haman moreover, Esther the queen did let no man come in with the king unto the banquet that she had prepared but myself. And tomorrow am I invited unto her also with the king. So he's telling about all the good news, right?
Right.
Verse 13. Yet all this availeth me nothing, so long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate.
See?
So he got all
this. How they act. I'm sorry. It's like you said.
No sweat. He got all this good news to be happy about.
Right.
But he got to tell everybody about the nigga at work that won't stand.
Right.
Listen, he said, all this yet availeth me nothing. I've gained nothing.
Right.
All of the promotions, all of the wealth, all of the promises of the king. I got invited to dinner with the boss and his wife. But this nigga won't stand for me when I walk in the room. Go ahead, all right.
Does it go back to when we grabbed that heel?
All of that's part of it.
They was mad about that. Like, bitch, we trying to come out too.
Yeah.
You understand, nigga?
Spiritually, that's all part of it.
For real, they hated us since then, and then when nigga, you sold your shit. Okay, go ahead, sir.
You got it, all. Listen, all of that that's the spirit of the Bible.
I've been asking before I found the truth. That's what I always wanted to know, why these white people do not like us. It's not. This is something that is embedded in their brains, man. It's spiritual.
It's spiritual.
That's what I found out now, being in the truth. That is spiritual.
It's
man.
spiritual.
It don't matter what we do for them.
It don't.
Nice as we can be to them.
It don't.
Yeah, God.
It's spiritual. Everything you said is right, huh? It's spiritual. You understand? And the Lord is letting us see it now because we the ones that don't see that it's spiritual. Right. They know it's spiritual. They know it's something inside them. I hate these niggas. They don't even know what it is.
Right.
The Lord is showing us what it is.
Right.
And it happened thousands of years ago.
I need to know why.
Well, now you know. And it happened thousands of years ago during the time of the Persians. Edomites wasn't in no power. These Edomites was not running it.
We was ruling shit for a minute.
But I'm saying during this time, Edomites wasn't in power. And still, a devil hated a nigga on a job.
Yeah.
Thousands of years ago, he don't hate that these Persians is in charge.
No.
He don't give a damn that these heathens is running it. But this nigga won't stand.
Yeah.
He ain't mad. He ain't got to beef with none of these other nations. Nobody else at the job.
Man.
He find the nigga and hate a nigga.
That's gotta be spiritual.
It is spiritual.
It's gotta be.
It's spiritual, sis.
Like I said, I'm sure he also hated that he spoke so well and was so educated. Like, I'm sure that just
everybody loved Mordecai. Mordecai, cool ass nigga. Why you want like a nigga like Mordecai?
Right.
Mordecai come in there, do his job. He cool as hell, hanging out, he chilling. Just because he want to acknowledge, like, why I gotta acknowledge you? Why I gotta be your friend? Where in my job description, I got to say hi to you, cracker? I don't like you. You don't like me. Why I gotta fake? Haman don't even like the nigga. Why you even care if this nigga say anything anyway?
Boy.
That too.
Boy, that's how them monkeys. That's where that mentality. Don't look at me in my eyes. That boy shit. Plus he down south.
All of that, man.
I'm telling you, and this shit's still going on.
It's going. Listen, as long as
it's in their brain.
Come. So this is Esther 5 and 14 now. Then said Jeresh's wife and all his friends unto him, let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high. And tomorrow speak thou unto the king that Mordecai may be hanged thereon. Then go thou in merrily with the king unto the banquet. And the thing pleased Haman, and he caused the gallows to be made. That show you that what? The white woman is the devil too. The white woman is a goddamn beast too. She said, oh, that nigger won't stand for you. Don't worry, because the king is giving you all these promotions. Just go in there and tell the king to kill the nigger. And you'll have it already ready for the nigga to die.
Put the pussy on him in the first place.
Hold your peace. But you right. The devil was on it too. Everybody understands. The devil woman was on it too. But here's how the Lord. But I'm gonna save this part for tomorrow. I'm gonna save chapter 6 for tomorrow, right? because this is another lesson I want to teach, and we're going to go over verse 6 with that. But we're going to go verse 7 now, all right? This is verse 7. And again, all of this goes back to righteous leadership. Esther following and obeying Mordecai to allow her to be in a position to execute what it is we're about to read now. Remember, Mordecai gave her instructions from the very beginning. Don't let nobody know who you are. Don't show your people. Don't let nobody know your backstory, your background. And sometimes that's difficult for a woman to do. Because a lot of times women want to boast about the things they're proud of. And this woman being an Israelite, I'm sure she was proud of being an Israelite. She was proud to have been raised in the house of Mordecai and proud to be a Jew and proud to tell everybody, well, I learned these things from my father, my uncle, but she was told to not reveal any of that. And so she was disciplined, man. She was focused and she was obedient. And because of that, what took place here, we're about to read what took place, all right? Esther chapter 7, verse 1. So the king and Haman came to banquet with Esther the queen. And the king said unto Esther on the second day at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed even to the half of the kingdom. Then Esther the queen answered and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition and my people at my request. For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain and to perish. But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage. Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen, who is he, and where is he that does presume in his heart to do so? And Esther said, the adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman. Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen. And the king, arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath, went into the palace garden. And Haman stood up to make request for his life to Esther the queen, for he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king. So they at the dinner. Esther tell the king, I pray that you will allow me and my people to go free. Because there's an evil adversary that has sought to destroy us, and we are dated to be slain and killed and destroyed. If it was us going into captivity, I wouldn't even have bothered the king. But this enemy, no, nothing's going to stop this enemy. And the king said, who trying to kill my woman and her people? Who got something against them? And she said, it's this wicked ass Haman. Then all the redness flashed over the white man's face, and he got afraid, because when she said Haman, he looked at the king looked at him, and the king got up and stormed off, and the devil started to beg for his life. The devil started to plead, you understand? Verse 8. Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine. And Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was. Then said the king, will he force the queen also before me in the house? As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face. You understand? Esther, he got her to beg. Esther went and got on her bed. She walked away from this devil and went and sat down. He's begging her on his knees on the bed. Please, the king come in, see him on his knees at the bed and say, nigga, you trying to move on my woman too? Then as soon as the king say, nigga, you trying to move on my woman? Some guards come out of nowhere, put his head in the bag and drag his ass off. Everybody understand? This is why Mordecai told her, don't show your people. Don't let it be known who you are. Sometimes you have to move in silence. You understand? Sometimes you ain't got to tell everybody everything. Don't let the right hand know what the left hand don't need to know. And Mordecai, in instructing Esther, the Lord was with Esther in preventing the destruction of our nation. And in the pit and the trap that this devil tried to lay for Esther and our people, he was now in the trap. Everybody understand? This is verse 9. And Harbona, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold, also the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, stands in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang him thereon. Verse 10. So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And all the things that the devil endeavors to do against us, all we got to do is stand with the Lord.
See?
All we got to do is follow righteous leadership, righteous guidance, and guess what? The Most High will be an enemy to your enemies. He'll be an adversary to your adversaries. And the children of Israel will always get the victory. And that is what the Feast of Purim is about. That is why we are gathered in all these schools all across the country, all across the earth. We are remembering the glorious acts of of Mordecai and of Esther. And as we eat and we drink and we remember our nation and the deliverance that the Most High has given us, let us not forget the value of righteous leadership. Everybody understands. With that, with the Israelite School of UPK, out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. We're going to be having part 2 of the class tonight. We're going to go over another lesson to be learned from the book of Esther and the Feast of Purim. But for tonight, we're going to eat, we're going to drink, we're going to celebrate and thank the Most High for what he's done in delivering our nation. And we will never forget the leadership and the guidance that Mordecai provided. And we'll never forget the obedience, you understand, and the patience that Esther had in obeying the orders that Mordecai gave. And with that, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Israel Shalom. All right. Now, can I